said P.O.E, not POD, but P.O.E, P.O.E, provide official entertainment, provide official education for the people on Earth, and as we know, everybody on this planet, not from this planet. You know, we are on YouTube, so just go to the podcast, Cold Hard Facts, if you don't want to watch it on Facebook, if you want to call in. You know what we got. We got the Stormy Rec Productions here. We also produce that on Thursday nights, Ladies Night with Storm. You know how that go, man. We do a lot of things. Got a lot of shows coming. We got that New Jersey podcast, Cumberland County and Friends. You know, we'll be having that boy Nut the Torture on that show, man. He be bringing his little homeboy along with him. You know, that be Jew the Torture. So these two together, the Knuckleheads, man, they make a good show, make live shows starting off. So we working with them. And then we're going to bring that Seriously Joking podcast radio. So you get ready for that because it's going to be starring me right there. You see what it is. We're going to be cracking jokes. We're going to be wilding. We're going to look at a late night show, maybe like a 12 o'clock show, whatever it is. But you know what it is. It is your exclusive news report with yours truly, man. I don't know what to tell you, bro, but this is the podcast. Yes, this is the podcast. So I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do right now? Cause I've been chilling like a villain. I've been trying to put some things together. I got some shows. I'm gonna bring this up first, cause what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go ahead and jump into Hurricane Milton, which is here. It's already down there on the south coast, coming across Florida. It doesn't look like it's gonna come up the coast. But again, we just had a crazy storm with, what was it, Helena? We had a storm with her, so, and what she did to the Carolinas is ridiculous. Matter of fact, we might tap into a little bit of that too, but if you just tap in, if you don't even know about what's going on, we're going to just go ahead and watch this right now. We're going to go ahead and see what this is talking about, find out what's coming to us ahead real soon. Like, again, this was just 3 hours ago posted, talking about it, though. Somebody at the door? Oh, yeah, thought we had a guest walking in tonight. Sometimes we be talking about having guests, so you know. But let's check this out, man. Let's go.
To brace for Hurricane Milton. This is round 2 during a suddenly violent hurricane season. Tampa, Florida is facing unsurvivable conditions, and we know from 12 days ago with Helene that forecasters mean it. Now, we pray that it's going to go off course and not hit any populated areas, but you've got to be ready. The storm remains a Category 4. It has been a 5 along the way toward the United States and will likely return to some 160 to 180 mile per hour winds being carried by a Cat 5. President Biden is set to speak at any moment after a briefing that he's receiving by FEMA officials. And of course, that's critical because there's all sorts of talk about what FEMA can do and what it hasn't done for Hurricane Helene victims and potentially could be facing more people to help by the end of this week. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. Officials have ordered mandatory evacuations now for people in a dozen Florida counties. 5.5 million people in Florida living along the Gulf Coast must
My sisters are out
leave
there.
the area immediately. Mm-hmm. Let's watch.
We are leaving. This is the first time, in 12 years that we will be leaving for a storm. But we are evacuating about 11 miles inland. Just can't take any chances after seeing what Helene did. And Helene was 100 miles offshore.
Well, you heard it. A lot of people are starting to prepare for the worst, and they're doing it early. 4 million people live in the 6 counties surrounding Tampa Bay. Some live in mobile homes and RVs, especially vulnerable to severe weather. Florida Senator Marco Rubio posted this. Several years ago, I asked the National Hurricane Center to show me what the worst-case storm hitting Florida would look like. What they showed me back then is almost identical to the Milton forecast now. Again, that's Senator Rubio of Florida. Fox team coverage now. Madison Scarpino is in Banner Elk, North Carolina. Dana Marie McNichols is in Miami Beach, Florida. First, though, let's go to senior meteorologist Janice Dean in the Fox Weather Center. Janice.
Harris, we just got the 11 a.m. advisory. They bumped up those winds to 150 mile per hour sustained winds. And yesterday we had an unbelievably strong hurricane at 180 mile per hour sustained winds. It is going to weaken a little bit as it approaches the west coast of Florida, but the concern is the storm surge. That's going to stay the same. Even if we're talking about a borderline Category 3, Category 4 hurricane when it makes impact, The storm surge is going to be upwards of 10 feet, and that is not survivable in some of these areas. So that's why you're seeing language like catastrophic and please evacuate, because you will not survive a 10 to 15-foot storm surge. We are going to potentially see a little more strengthening, but I think that this is what we're going to have, a Category 4, Category 3 making landfall. It's going to interact with a trough. That is what's steering this storm. North of the storm is where we're going to get the heavy rainfall. We could see upwards of a foot. South of it is where we see the devastating storm surge into areas that are extremely vulnerable to storm surge, and that is Tampa Bay area. 10 to 15 feet underwater, because you've got all of this water from the Gulf of Mexico piling into the bays and the inlets, and this is a worst case scenario, and that's indeed what the track is saying. Now, we look at places like Fort Myers, up to 10 feet. That's also going to be devastating for them. Hurricane force winds, at least a Category 3, 110 miles per hour for a duration of hours as it crosses over the Florida Peninsula. Still seeing a hurricane for Orlando up towards Daytona Beach, upwards of a foot of rainfall. But the real takeaway here, Harris, is the Tampa Bay area needs to brace for catastrophic storm surge. That is the push of the ocean in towards these bays and inlets. Tampa Bay is the most susceptible city in the U.S. to withstand that kind of storm surge.
All right, two things. One, and I'm looking for rays of hope in all of this. I heard you say that what we saw with 180-mile-an-hour winds yesterday when this was a Cat 5 likely will not return.
Correct.
That it's actually going to weaken now. And so
Yes.
that is good news in this update, that we're not going to go from a Cat 4 to a Cat 5, likely down to a Cat 3 as it makes its way.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Hurricane Katrina, almost 20 years ago, was a Category 5. It made landfall as a 3 with a 30-foot storm surge.
Oh,
so
yeah.
do not pay attention to the category.
Okay.
Yes, it was a very strong storm in the Gulf of Mexico, but it carries with it a devastating storm surge. That does not change as the category goes down.
All right, real quick question. From what we just saw with Helene, I'm looking for the reason why it stayed on land and stayed so powerful for so long. Was that because it was a bigger storm when it hit? What are they looking for here? Because you said it's going to remain a Cat 3 for quite some time, could even cross the state.
It's going to cross the state. It's still going to be a hurricane. But, you know, I was listening to Governor DeSantis earlier on Fox and Friends.
Yeah, that's going to tear up Tampa,
the state of Florida
Orlando.
Can withstand a Category 3, Category 2, Category 1 hurricane. The winds.
Like I said,
we're
my
still going to
sisters
see
are out there.
power
My
outages.
best
We're still
friend
going to see over
Felicia's
a
out
foot of
there.
rainfall. But it's the storm surge
you
into
too
the
low.
vulnerable area here along the West Coast, the Gulf Coast. And that is because of the topography. Very shallow. So all of that water has to go somewhere. If this was anywhere else, a 10 to 15-foot storm surge could be withstood. This can't.
Yeah, it's got a lot of water already on it. The Everglades, all of that area, it's all water.
Yes, and a 2-foot storm, 2-foot rain surplus already for this vulnerable area. So flooding is going to be a huge concern.
So look, you're looking at Tampa. They saying 110 plus.
Yeah,
looking at
so-
Orlando. Man, they about to get hit.
As far as 110 plus, it is going to be Tampa and Sarasota. But Orlando, Melbourne, even up there, like Cape Coral, all that, like my girl, you know, my best friend Felicia, she out there. My sisters are out there. You know, just want to make sure everybody, I got a lot of family out there. Everybody stay safe and heed the warnings. Like, this sounds like one of them storms. Like, don't ride it out. Make sure y'all do what you have to do to get up out of there, because the last thing I want to hear is somebody saying, you know, something happened, we didn't leave. So if you guys have the ability to leave, please go ahead and do so. Evacuate, because I don't think they're just saying it for shits and giggles, guys. Literally.
Get your ass up out of there.
Look at what happened to North Carolina.
Yeah. And we seen it with Asheville.
There was people houses floating in the water. Remember the lady, the viejita, that her house was floating? They were yelling at her to jump in the water, like swim. And the guy, God bless his soul for jumping in the water, after her, but he jumped in and swam to her, and people are like, "Oh my God, they're screaming!" He said he couldn't do it. He said he couldn't let her
you can't
just
sit there and
see
watch
her
that.
float
Shout out to
by.
him.
So he jumped in the water and went out there and grabbed her.
Shout out to him, because you know what? And at the end of the day, when you have situations like that, that's where humanity has to show up. That's where us as a people, we don't care what color and all this silly stuff.
Yeah.
We have to come together and work together. Because now I was watching a few videos out there, and they were speaking about FEMA. Now I seen some other things later saying that, you know, there was some speculation behind it. It wasn't necessarily true, that they do have different branches of the government do have certain funds and things put to the side for disaster relief and then for the border. But again,
listen, all I have to say is this: when they forgot that they didn't send over how many $1 trillion as part of their agreement, they got that crap ASAP over there.
so,
This is our home, like, you know what I mean? Like, our home, this is us, our home country, this is us. And you still have people that are in dire need, people that can't get to, you know, get the essentials that they need. But not only that, a lot of big companies like Walmart and I forgot the other one. It's another big company. These people have been sending out truckloads.
I know Target was doing that when I was at Target. Shout out to Target. They did that too.
And it wasn't like, it was like, oh my gosh, they asked us. No, they started sending stuff down there to these people to try to help them. And the sad part is that even though they're sending truckloads of this stuff, they still have to try to get it to those people.
Exactly.
Remember
and it's hard. They said there was no way to get to the roads.
Yeah.
They spoke about how the roads are damaged, the water floods, damaged cop cars, so many things that we've seen of avalanches and things are happening from
roads
these things.
Roads are like falling literally like in the water.
So yeah, a lot for shout out to those people that are dealing with that right now. Again, we're having atrocity over atrocity, and right now I understand that we have wars in the Middle East with Hezbollah. I can always say it wrong. Hezbollah, and Israel and Iran and everything that's happening, and you know, then you got Ukraine. We're forking all this money out. So that's the thing. If we're sitting here talking, until we talking about political agendas that are happening right now with these presidents, and I mean, again. I didn't just seen them say that Trump stole $7 million from the relief fund. So again, this is that time of season, and so anything you do is gonna get scrutinized. Who knows? But at the end of this day, we do need to make sure that we take care of our people.
Yes,
like we should be taking care of our vets,
first.
our blood-born
Yes.
Americans that have been here. We definitely have to have our arms open and help those who are in need, because we are the biggest or strongest country in the world is right now, especially as far as military. So just with that impression, we can do a lot with it. So
listen, and shout out to Dave in the building. Shout out to Ramit in the building.
Yes,
Dave definitely said positive energy for my family in Lakeland, Tampa, and Panama City, Florida. Shout out to everyone whose family is out there and in the path of this horrific storm. Shout out to all of the family down in North Kakalaki that checked in, let us know everybody is okay. Uncle Frank, hope everybody said that they're
Kenny
doing
and all
good.
them was down there. He went to
Uncle
Virginia.
Kenny said he's good. So
check on your family.
Shout out to all the family that is, you know, out there. But listen, what did you think as far as like, all right, so I don't know if you've seen the videos of the cop cars driving around and they have like the alarms going off, and it's like a loudspeaker system coming from the cop car, right? And it's the warning. It's like, you know, evacuate. It is a mandatory evacuation.
Oh, you're talking about Florida with Milton right now?
Yeah, like how they were saying it with the death toll.
10 miles out.
In a weird way, because, you know, I like watching movies, and I was watching one of my good movies the other day. Didn't it sound like the death toll from The Purge?
Oh, we just did watch The Purge, right?
You know,
I know what I know what you're saying based on how they did it.
It was an eerie feeling. It was like, because I watched it, and it was like the guy was outside videotaping the cop car going by, and it had that warning. Warning. Yeah, and he was like, this some next level. When he said next level, I was like, Purge. I was like,
Well,
because it's crazy how people, you know, some people don't have no choice but to stay behind. And then when they're stranded in the way that they're stranded, they're out there searching, looking for whatever they can to survive. It's sad.
And that's where the economy comes back into play. Bad judgment on finances and using your money. But then, you know, I look at it like this, right? When you live in places like Florida, knowing that you're going to get this every year, something like this every year, when you live in places like Cali, where you know San Andreas is ready to crack and half of California is supposed to fall in, I mean, sometimes you got to really think about it on that level. We be worried about
It's looking like Texas for us.
it look like it's time to start packing up, and
It's looking like Texas.
we need to start becoming nomadic again as individuals. We need to start finding out places that actually suit us. Because, you know, again, like even when we talking about politics, and we were looking at the states, and you see all the red states and all the blue states, and then, you know, based on how many electoral votes, some little state has way more power than this bigger state, and just know the little mechanisms that they have. But just watching that, and you watching these swing states, like if you don't agree, if for instance, like if you don't believe in like the LGBT community or this, that, and the third, and the laws are being passed, because a lot of this is about state laws as well. You got to remember who your state electors are. You know, you can pack up and go other places. There are places that you can go and have a gun at 18. They ain't doing all the extra paperwork.
That's a fact.
You know, when we talk about gun laws aren't the same in every state. So that's why every person's conversation is different based on their geographical standpoint, because other places ain't got no 18 and getting a gun ain't no issue.
No.
You're in Jersey, New York.
You don't need nothing but an ID that says you live in that state.
So, you know, it's a lot of things going on. But I got something else for you guys. Have you heard about the white supremacist group that got busted called the Peckerwoods?
I caught a glimpse of it, but I didn't you know how when I scroll my death or whatever, when I went to go, like, I scrolled past it, and when I went to go back down, it refreshed itself, so I couldn't see exactly what it was, but I heard something about a white supremacy group being
Peckerwoods.
busted. For real? You're
Their
not
name
playing?
is the Peckerwoods.
Oh, I thought he was joking.
No, I was not joking. Their really name is the Peckerwoods. Let's go.
Maybe they thought it was
arrest of
incognito.
42 members of the San Fernando Valley-based white supremacist street gang, the Peckerwoods. The indictment charges a total of 68 defendants with numerous federal crimes.
And now it is NewsMurder. Sid Garcia is live at the LAPD's North Hollywood station with the details and video of some of the arrests made today. Sid?
Guys, it was the LAPD, the FBI, the DEA, and other police agencies that took part in the takedown today. As you mentioned, dozens of members of this white supremacist gang were taken down, and according to the feds, they committed more than just hate crimes.
Taking the guns out of the hands of gang members, taking drugs off our streets, increases the safety and reduces the harm that these activities pose to our communities.
The LAPD, FBI, DEA, and other law enforcement agencies announced today that they've taken down dozens of members of the notorious white supremacist gang, the Peckerwoods. The gang is based out of the San Fernando Valley.
They coming for you, Tara
29
Jane.
federal arrest warrants were served this morning. 68 members of the gang were indicted on charges ranging from gun violations to identity theft.
It appears, however, that the business of hate was not enough for them. Their criminal activity took on different forms. Driven by greed, as alleged today, they engaged in drug distribution, multiple fraud schemes, and firearms offenses.
42 of the 68 gang members indicted are now in custody. The remaining 26 are fugitives. The Peckerwoods, according to federal law enforcement, have aligned themselves with the Aryan Brotherhood and Mexican mafia prison gangs.
What we wanted to do through this investigation was neutralize this threat as quickly as possible. So as I said, we're not going to wait around for a tragedy to occur. We're going to take action right away. And in order to do that, we use every tool in our federal toolbox to address that. And that's what we've done today.
Again, 42 of the 68 indicted are in custody. They're still looking
So they got
for the
48
other
out of the
26.
64
The sentences,
Peckers.
if convicted on the charges, range from as low as 10 years to life in prison.
See, the Peckerwoods, they're not.
I'm not laughing at that. But of all names you could have picked,
I mean, you know,
you picked the Peckerwoods.
we call ourselves niggas, and we started calling them Peckerwoods, right? I'm just saying, what's wrong with it? They want to call themselves Peckerwoods. They don't call themselves Peckerwoods. Clearly, they got some organization. They got what? They had 68 members, 24 still on the run.
I'm not.
When they raid Brooklyn, when they raid New York Bloods, they get everybody. They don't be hearing nobody left over when they raid the black niggas. No white boys knew how to get up and get pushing. They ain't playing no damn games. I respect. I'm just saying I respect it. Peckerwoods. Shout out to the Peckerwoods. I mean, they made the news.
They did.
And you know what it is though? And I ain't gonna lie though. The one thing America don't want no smoke with.
Hey, what's going on? Uncle Frank in the building.
Shout out to Uncle Frank.
Shout out to Flashback in the building. Uncle Frank, we just talked about you, Dito, checking in with you, making sure the family and everybody was okay over
Yes,
there in
sir.
North Kakalaki. Aunt Sherry, hello.
Oh, what?
What's going on?
Auntie in the building. Listen, matter of fact, you know what?
recap.
Well, listen.
Just a little one.
I want to do this first because I want to be able to at least put
Thank
the
you,
link.
Ramid. He dropped the link in the chat for the
YouTube.
The YouTube.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Hey, bro, shout out to you. I was gonna do the same thing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just do it because I was right behind you. A family that work together, play together, we stay together. Cause boy, you was right on the heels of. I was thinking the same thing. So shout out to Ramid for that. Yo, we gonna be doing t-shirts and stuff soon, and I'm gonna send all you guys that's been my loyal fans and been here while we're still putting together and coming up with shows.
A big picture of me.
Hey, she sells way better than I do. Who's gonna wear? Wouldn't you rather wear her on your shirt than me anyway?
No, I can't. I wish that they could see what I did in here.
What, as far as like the clouds and
it's
everything?
so don't give it too much away, but it's so dope. Yeah. We're gonna drop it on Thursday, but it's dope.
Yeah, she's put some things together. I have to say.
I know that's right. He said we got the blood of Jesus protecting us.
Hey, listen, that's all you need, man. A little bit of faith, a little bit of discipline, and a whole lot of belief, and you'll be all right, man.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You gotta find. We all gotta find our way. And again, like you said, a lot of times we just have to remember. Even some of our darkest time and our darkest hours, there are people who are going through things that we could not even imagine could happen to us because unfortunately or fortunately for us, we live in one of the greatest countries on the planet. So through the good and bad of it all, hey, listen. Hey, shout out to America for holding it down. Please just don't fall apart on this last minute. Take care of our soldiers because we just sent, 40,000 out there? You know what I mean? I think about people that I know. My man Janani, he out there right now from Boston, and he's been on tour since about almost 3-4 years now. And he was over there. He learned a lot of things over there. But again, nobody wants to send their child to a war. You know what I mean? So, we just hope that.
Oh, and my baby boy is down in Texas. Dito, shout out to my BDB. He's holding things down in Texas, but I dread the day that he makes that phone call to me.
Yeah, because and that's the situation now with
two
active wars right now. America is backing both of them.
Yeah,
it's going to be a big problem.
And shout out to my baby boy.
We did that. Let me see. I have some other things on here I wanted to bring up too, though. What's interesting.
And Sherry, I'm trying to share it in the family chat. I don't know why it's not going.
Well, she's not saying it on Facebook. We all put it in the Facebook chat. So if you are on Facebook,
if you look in the comments in the Facebook on Sherry, you just scroll down a little bit. Ramid dropped it, and Sharon dropped it in the Dato too.
So it should be there. Matter of fact, and what I will do if you are on my Facebook page. What I will go ahead back and do is I'll go back into YouTube and then I'll just go ahead and share it directly to the page. Where it will just put it back, but it put it actually on top so you guys can see what's going on there.
Look, I see my frisa. My frisa was on the thing.
So I posted it again. You'll see me with my crown on, with the newspaper. You'll see the news. That is the link right over top of this. If you want to watch it from your TV and be able to call in if you want to call in or whatever it is. So listen, go ahead and enjoy yourselves. We're going to jump into some other stories, man. I got some shootings. I got some people being sentenced. I got 2 out of Philly, but this one right here, I don't think.
Dale.
You know what? I'll just go ahead and play this.
Dale.
Listen to this.
We learned today Demarion Bible will spend more than 3 decades in prison for the brutal murder of Savannah Williams, a transgender woman, last year in Minneapolis. And as Kaya Edwards reports, Williams' family is thankful justice was served, but they say work needs to be done to protect the community.
From who? Which one?
I never got to say goodbye to my big sister. But something I always remember she told me is to never say goodbye, to say see you later.
Surrounded by family, politicians, and activists, Gabrielle and Kelly Stillday speak on the loss of their sister, Savannah Williams.
There's no good that comes from homicide.
Savannah was a beautiful soul, kind, loving.
Savannah's life suddenly ended in November last year, and now her convicted killer is sentenced. Demarion Bible was sentenced Wednesday to 30.5 years in prison, the state max for intentional second-degree murder.
His actions have forever stained our lives with grief.
Demarion reportedly confessed after investigators found surveillance video of him near the South Minneapolis scene. According to the criminal complaint, the 25-year-old told police he began to feel suspicious during a sexual encounter with Savannah and that he shot her in the head.
It shows you Savannah was a magnet. She pulled everyone towards her, including the defendant.
Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty says the case did not fit the legal standard to be charged as a hate crime, but says that doesn't mean hate was absent that fall morning.
The fact that we could not charge this as a bias crime does not change the impact that this crime has had on making our trans community feel less safe.
She says nationally, 85% of transgender people killed between 2021 and 2022 were people of color.
I am Savannah. You know, I'm a trans person of color, and I face those discriminations.
Savannah's family plans to hold a one-year memorial event on November 29th and says all are welcome to come. Kaya Edwards, KARE 11 News.
Wow. Dito, rest in peace, Savannah. That was sad. Don't look at me like that. That's sad.
No. No. A death is
No,
sad. No,
that's sad.
Again, a death is sad. I'm not saying that. But what about the deception of that manhood? We're quick to sit here and say that we need to respect them, and blah, blah, blah. You know, push them all down our throats. Excuse me. What you do is your lifestyle. I could care less about. I really don't care what you do. But when it comes to social media and the type of magnitude of conversation that they put on this, it's we must protect, we must stop, we must do. What about that right there, though? What about the guy in Houston? You seen one in Houston? The guy that was got married and found out that she was a man and killed her?
No. So
again, what about the deception in that? Like, we're not even allowed to have any type of men feelings and have a Listen, what if that the deception? Listen, man. All right. Well, y'all keep going ahead, and I'm not saying don't support people. Don't support silliness like this. That's silliness. Being honest? Well, clearly, if he didn't know that was a man, you think that's okay? That's like a person not telling you they got AIDS and sleeping with you raw. Do it hit you as a woman when somebody say that? Because as a man, that's what it feel like. But then again, she looked like a nigga. I don't even know how he can't. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just saying. She, what's the name? Favorite of men.
Rest in peace of Savannah.
Savannah had a lot of male features. She was in her transition and working her way there. She got the BBL and everything, but she still had a hard face. So how he didn't know or suspect before, he probably was getting fellatio, because that's the only thing I could think of. He probably was getting fellatio and then something happened. Because if he was doing anything else, I don't know how. If you went in the butt, you slapped the balls. I don't care what you talk about. What? I'll wait.
I was reading the comments because I didn't.
Yeah, that was what I'm saying.
There was a lot of them in here, and
That's
they
crazy.
said Peckerwood is a common term used in in the South, referring to rednecks. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. What else? Oh yeah. Okay. Everybody's okay. Everybody's checking in and say that they're okay. Good.
I'm not gonna do that right now. All right. So anyway,
what a song to put on.
But I mean, think about this. Think about you being with a man, and you're having relations with this man. This man doesn't tell you that he's HIV positive. Does he have any type of guilt? Of course, if you choose to have the action unprotected, you choose to have the action unprotected. But him knowing and not telling that deception, that's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, and I get your point, and I get your everything, and that is your opinion.
Okay.
That's
What's your opinion?
So for me, like I said, it's sad. It's a sad situation. Do I think that they should be a little bit more transparent? I do think that. I do think that if I'm getting into bed with a man, I'm assuming he's a man and not a woman turned man. I'm just saying that. I get that part right there. But that was a senseless murder.
To who?
Everybody's entitled to opinions,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
that is mine. Mine is a senseless murder, so we can agree to disagree in this one.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to leave it alone because I definitely want to debate you, because I know when I said that AIDS thing, I know if you found out a dude gave you the package.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You said that. What I said was I'd be highly upset.
Well, listen, hey. And that's why our worlds are the way they are. We need to understand that everybody doesn't feel to think the same. So before we make decisions with other people's lives, we should be more
that's
conscious.
when hood justice comes in. Like I said, everybody has their own thought to how they feel like it would be. But for me, it definitely was a senseless murder. You know what I mean? It happened, yeah. But to off them,
What was he supposed to do?
Not off him. Thou shalt not kill, right?
Thou shalt not lie. like
Thou shalt not kill either.
But that's
I know. I didn't
Man, that's
say.
just, it's crazy.
I didn't listen. I don't know the facts of the case for me to even go into more depth. That's why I'm not doing it. Because who knows? Maybe he knew, and it just so happened this one time he felt some type of way because he may have felt something different and didn't feel it the first time. You don't know. You don't know. Because it's half of these people running around here right now, let me tell you, that are on the down low getting it all it, and they're, oh, I'm a thug, I'm a thug, I'm a thug. No, I seen you whimpering on the tape.
Oh, shit. We're not doing that.
Oh, we will.
We're not doing that tonight.
Oh, we will.
Woo.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying, we'll turn up.
So, like I said, it's every case is different and every situation is different. But sometimes when, people say different things, and I could say this: if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a what?
It's a duck.
Something wrong with his eyes?
That's what lust come into play, man. All that lusting, man.
Now you understand what I'm saying. Stuff like that.
I think they're both guilty. They're both wrong.
And that's why I can't.
Playing with fire.
That's why I was telling you. For this one, it's sad. It's just a whole sad situation because you don't know the details of what transpired between the two of them. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Anybody got a comment on that? Okay, that's good. It's
and Uncle Frank did say all murder is tragedy. It
true
is.
Indeed.
It's sad.
True indeed. Okay, well, since we're on
it's
murders,
sad that he felt like he had to come to that point. That's all.
Well, let's get into this murder in Philly, where a man was fatally shot by off-duty detective. This was less than 24 hours ago. Let's go ahead and just tap into this one right now and see what's really going on out in his world, because as we can see, everybody's not playing with a full deck.
Learning more about the man shot and killed by an off-duty Philadelphia police detective last week. Tonight, his family speaking to Fox 29 and demanding answers about his death and the moments that led up to the gunshots. And Jeff, you spoke with family and their attorney today.
I did. The family of Robert Jones not only is demanding, of course, more details about his killing Thursday night by an off-duty Philadelphia homicide detective, but they say it may have been that Jones thought he was helping a stranded motorist. Michael Jones comforts his 70-year-old mother as friends gather in the Wilson Park community where his brother Robert grew up. His family says Robert Jones, 54, a longtime worker turned supervisor at a Northeast Philly metal manufacturer, is the man killed Thursday evening when an off-duty homicide detective shot him. What do you make of the fact that he was killed by an off-duty police officer?
It angers me a lot, but I gotta stay focused. I gotta stay under control.
Police report it was 11:30 Thursday night when the 43-year-old off-duty detective stopped his car in the turn lane of Willits Road near Holm Avenue with Jones' 2019 Kia behind him. Jones was shot through the window as he approached the detective's car on the driver's side. The family's attorney said he was unarmed and may have been trying to help what he thought was a stranded motorist.
You have an armed officer shoot and kill an unarmed person who is certified to do roadside assistance and is wearing a reflective jacket.
Did your brother possess a gun?
No.
Did he have a gun? You ever know him to have a gun?
No.
Police have released no other details about the shooting, including the detective's name. Despite searching a storm drain Thursday, police have not reported finding a gun. The detective fired his personal weapon. The Jones family says Robert, one of 4 brothers who was a self-taught artist, worked for 10 years on the Eagles ground crew.
To me, I feel as
That's
though
so sad.
whenever they're trying to save the officer, but at the same time they're trying to just put a stain on my brother's name.
By my account, this is an unjustified shooting, and unjustified shootings should be accompanied by criminal charges.
Listen, this is a story that I cannot wait to see how it unfolds, because that's sad as hell. He probably was like, oh, let me do my due diligence and stop and help this guy out because he's probably stranded on the road. But my question is, why was the cop stopped right there?
Now we certainly you know what? I got this plan a little bit. Let me stop that. I want to keep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why was the cop stopped? Like, was he stopped? Did he have his the flashers on? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, he was off duty, so I don't think he was in.
No, but I don't mean that. I mean like his the 4 lights when you hit the little triangle. That's when it be like boom, boom.
Oh, your hazard lights.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Did he have those on? And the guy was like, oh, because he's in traffic duty. You know what I mean? He's a certified dental. He had his vest on. Oh, let me go help this person. Hey, you need help? Bang! And that's what happened to him?
I don't know. When black people do crimes like that, they find out that they had something else going on, sleep with somebody, baby mom. We got to do some investigation because what he gonna it don't make no sense to just...
Uncle Frank said, wow, my old neighborhood.
Yeah. Yes. Your family from these family from out there. Yeah. So man, these are the type of things that are happening in our world, and especially with Philly. Philly is off the chain right now with the war that's going on. And then hip hop is all in there, so they're funding the drama. Hip hop is funding the drama.
So much going on in there, and people know what they're doing. They know what they're doing because it brings them views. So why not?
It's the Purge. It's kind of like the Purge. Remember how remember in the Purge when he was like, yo, where you get all this stuff from? Mm-hmm. And he was like, yo, I was buying. They had the guns and grenades and all this stuff.
Like, I was just getting everything up.
Like, man, they putting it in the hood. Yeah. Right? They putting these guns and stuff in the hood. They putting the music. And again, I'm old enough to get it.
And people are following it.
But we're old enough to understand it because we've grown out of that mind state where we're just in a whirlwind of wanting to be a part and feel the world. We get older, we cool down.
Is as much as we know it now, when will the youth start to get it before it's too late? Because you have people like yourself,
hitting their 40s now,
you have people like
50s.
me that you try to instill a lot of this into the youth and what's going on, and that phone still rings like,
big bro,
sis. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Pendejo, and I see, right?
It's been many nights I've had to get up and go pick somebody up, or I get a call like, yo, bro, whoop-de-whoop. And they know I got their back, right? But they also know I don't support stupid shit. So when they call me, they know from the door they better explain it to me.
And don't leave out no details because not for nothing,
I ain't gonna let you.
We're always gonna find out the truth.
I'm gonna check it.
It is very sad to see how, because Philadelphia has always been, it's known as what? Philadelphia. That's what you know.
And the feds is called something else, but I ain't going with all that. But yeah. I'm just giving the news. I'm not making judgments. I'm giving the news. I got that's my city.
It's very sad, the crime that's happening out there. A lot of senseless murders that happen for no reason. A lot of innocent people that are caught in the crossfires. Because if you know anything about Philly and you know Philly blocks, first of all, a Philly block isn't like a block out here.
You shoot an AK, it's going through 3 houses sideways.
And the thing is that it's the houses. If you've never been, the houses are from one end of the block to the other end of the block.
Like row houses.
But it's a straight deto. It's not like it's separate like it is out here. It's just a straight row, and they're all together. Yep. On each side. So when you coming outside, you're looking at your neighbor across the street. Here. Everybody's right there. And then the streets be like this big for all the cars to go down. And if you not moving right and you not doing stuff right, you're going to get caught up in some crap that you don't need to be. Kids be playing. They don't got no backyards. Where they going to play at? They play in the front. A lot of people
getting hit by cars, especially coming down 5th. Yes. You ain't trying to stop coming down 5th and people getting hit on 5th.
Yes, row houses. That's what they're called. Row houses. Thanks, flashback.
Yeah, but since we in Philly,
it was the city of brotherly love, but it's definitely
brotherly slugs.
It's definitely it's sad. It's changed a lot.
Well, we had another 2 shootings in Philly, so we're gonna just go ahead and jump in.
Wait, real quick before I keep going. At the flashback said, pray that they live to see 40. That's a fact. A lot of them out there are praying that they even hope. Listen, a lot of them are hoping that they even see that. A lot of them hope that they even see their 18th or 21st birthdays. You know, little milestones that we take for granted. They're just hoping to even see that. It was, and he said, Uncle Frank said, police brutality is integral part of policing in Philadelphia. All my life growing up, the good and the bad, I grew up with Frank Rizzo.
Frank Rizzo, Rizzo. Yeah, I remember Rizzo. Rizzo, that was like the mafia boss. He was at the time of Monito.
I don't know who that is.
Frank Rizzo. Yeah, that's like, is that early 90s, I believe? Rizzo was in the 90s?
Uncle Frank,
I've been around for a little
Rizzo?
bit, though.
Let us know who that is.
Frank
For those
Rizzo.
of us that don't know, like me, I don't know. Yeah. And then, he also said now they call them townhouses or charge you more for the same space.
You ain't lying. They try to put a fancy name on them shit. They knock all the shit down, build them up again like Smurf huts, and they call them a fancy name. It's still the same thing.
And then it's a fact. Vineland, flashback. Vineland, we all know, is little crime land. It's been crime land forever.
Criminal Hill.
I've been hearing so many deaths about, people that have different names for it depending on where you from,
Darkland.
different blocks, whatever.
Criminal Hill.
But it definitely is known as crime land. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, look. So now we're going to go into Philly. We got another unfortunate situation.
And the trick is not to recognize the foolishness of confusion. That is correct, Dave. I like that.
The jewels that get dropped by these gentlemen and these ladies.
Make them rain on me.
Okay, let's go. We got two shootings in Philly. Let's get straight to it.
Okay.
Oh, we're starting to have that. There we go.
Tragic shootings in Philadelphia. One of them involves a ShopRite worker shot as he put carts away. The other,
oh my God,
an innocent victim gunned down as she just walked down the street. NBC 10's Katie Zachary is live for us at police headquarters. What do we know about this, Katie?
Aaron, police on scene, they were quick to describe this woman who was shot in this shooting as an innocent bystander. They say she was walking 200 feet away from the violence when she was gunned down. Philadelphia police say officers were on patrol this morning around 12:30. They were along Kensington Avenue when they were flagged down by witnesses about a woman who was shot and killed as she walked down the sidewalk. This all happened around 12:30 this morning at Kensington and Somerset Streets. Witnesses say some men were arguing inside a beer store and then it turned physical. Police say, according to the witnesses, when they walked out of the store, one of the men turned around and fired a shot toward the other men, but instead it hit the woman who was walking about 200 feet away from the group. It hit her in the chest. She collapsed and died at the hospital.
Oh my God.
So at this time, we believe she was an innocent victim. We do not believe that she was the intended target. Now, we're getting that information from several witnesses who were transported to police headquarters.
Those witnesses brought here to police headquarters behind me in Spring Garden, where they spent the morning talking with homicide detectives. Police have not yet released the identity, the name, any information about the woman who was gunned down. They are looking for the shooter. He was last seen running south on Kensington Avenue. Police say there are plenty of surveillance cameras on the street and also from inside that beer store. Reporting live in Spring Garden, Katie Zachary, NBC 10 News.
And now to that other story breaking
shot
overnight
down
in
coming out of the
grocery store
speakeasy.
employees in critical
That is
condition
sad.
after someone shot him in front of the supermarket. It happened at the ShopRite on Olney Avenue and Front Street. Police say the victim was a cart carrier and had some sort of confrontation with a customer who shot him twice. Investigators have not said what the men were arguing about, but we do know the shooter remained on scene. So far, no word yet on any charges.
He remained on scene.
Before we start,
he stood on business.
He stayed on scene. Yeah, he stood on business. Whatever happened,
did it.
I'm saying, you know what? Again,
listen, Dito, that was sad. The lady coming out was sad. That's
another
senseless.
part of.
She was just coming out of the speakeasy, I'm just trying to go get me a little 6-pack before I go home or whatever the case may be, and she got shot in the chest. And Dito, she died. And I always say this quote right here to people who like to play with them things, right? Bullets have no name, and shooters don't got aim. They be aiming for what they want to hit, and if they don't, listen, 9 times out of 10, they're missing, and they're hitting something else.
Because they got switches. They got all the things that Call of Duty has. Everything.
They want to be out here
they grew up playing. But look, but see, we don't think about the psychological part of all of this. Every human being is not born evil.
No.
They're programmed based on the lifestyle that they're raised in. That's why inner city poverty kids, don't care if they're black or white, wherever you are, you have a lot more. Not that anybody, a rose that can't go through concrete. but most of your crime come from real dense areas of population with not a lot of room.
Okay.
And so when you crowd people on top of people on top of people, you create a frustration, anger. That's why New York has that grittiness about it. Boston has that grittiness about it. The attitude, the facade about the people is just a little bit different. You know what I mean? But that comes from, again, when you're living from these little small towns, we be staying in with 68,000 in the whole damn town, opposed to 250,000 in a smaller area.
Flashback said, I believe we've forgotten about crack babies are now grown, mentally challenged, but look normal. Okay? Y también, also, Dave said, Frank Rizzo was the high school mayor graduate of Philadelphia whose ignorance was surpassed only by those who voted for him.
Well, let's just let this rock real fast. Let's just go ahead and let this rock real fast.
And then Uncle Frank said Rizzo started out as a police officer, then became police chief, and used the police department as his own mafia.
Yep.
Okay. Then stormed black neighborhoods with the most racist. Then stormed black neighborhoods with the most racist time in Philly between 1960s and 1970s until his death in the 2000s. Diablo. I didn't know he was that.
Yeah, he was running around. He was crazy. But again, when we take time to really think about these people's in positions, they're regular human beings that work their way to whatever position they got doing what they do. The same way Uncle Frank was saying, again, it takes us, if we want to be in these political places, we want to talk this political stuff, we need to step up. And of course, a lot of us are older. We feel like we done missed that boat. But again, we got these kids out here. And again, like I said, we speak to kids all day long. I had one here. We did if you pay attention to, go check us out on the page of Facebook. And we on Instagram, on YouTube. Go ahead and check us out, though. We just had Judah Torture. And we had Nut the Torture over here today. Did another little show. But you can see, I'm showing you how I deal with the youth. These kids are 23. You know what I mean?
They're babies.
I got some that are 19, some that are 16 that I'm dealing with. I have conversations when we just talk about they get into beefs and crimes and what they want to go do. And I be like, why you gonna go do that? And they don't have an answer why. And then when I start telling them, well, if you do this and do that, and this was gonna happen next, and then it's gonna happen, what about that? And they be looking at me like, I never thought about that. Mm-hmm. I never thought. You had something in your head?
No. When Uncle Frank just said this right here, it had like a moment in my brain. Shut up. It says he hated black people. He was Italian from South Philly. When he's
she be in the city.
Everything started. Everything was like all the dots connected.
South
it was like
Philly.
Because that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
South Philly was a little stomping ground.
Mob, man. Mob. Philly mob, man.
That's where I used to live in South Philly. And I lived in 3rd and Cambridge, and I lived in 45th and Osage.
Okay.
And I was down in all the projects over there, and ¿cómo se llama eso? It starts with a G. I can't even think about it. But anyway, I was ripping through the South Philly and Southwest Philly, and he said,
I'm a North baby. I be out north.
Sister. Yeah,
I was north.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the North Side, but
north side.
In the North Side, I was like, everybody was like, all the Puerto Ricans in the North Side, and I'm like, and I live in South and Southwest Philly. That was my stomping grounds. Yeah, it was.
Okay, well, listen. Well, you know what we need to tap into? This was just 4 hours ago. I had got this. It's just been dropped 4 hours ago. I don't know if you've been in tune with what's going on with Iran and the war and Israel and everything.
Espérate, real quick before. He said Rico was the first one that started strip search. He actually stripped your clothes down in the streets.
But that was Rizzo?
Rizzo.
I remember somebody was doing that.
I did not even know that.
They had it on the news or something.
What?
Yeah, but it was somebody else that did that too. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Oh my God!
I mean, that's history though, and it's not long history. It's just history that's not. It's things that we don't communicate
that's where I used
about.
To be at Grace Ferry.
Grace Ferry. Okay, Grace Ferry. Okay, but listen, let's go. We're going. Anything else?
And that Dave said the youth are targeted simply because they can actually change society, and that is why they're the most susceptible. They're the most susceptible age to go after to make them
get them while they're young.
Yes, because you start to change their mindset into thinking, I have to be hood, I have to be this, when you really don't, bro. You don't get along with that person up the street, it's cool. You can agree to not disagree. It don't mean that you gotta go get your brother's gun and go shoot him in the head, because now you're starting a beef between families and this is what a lot of this happens from. It is beef between families that go back generations. Mm-hmm. And why do I know
and they
that?
get their friends involved out of friendship.
I lived in Philly, yes, and I was like, hold on, you beefing with him because you... If you don't go tell your dad to go beat his dad up, like, what's wrong with y'all? But that's what a lot of it is over, and a lot of it is over the territories. Like when the projects that Bevels, that those from, like this half right here, and this half right here got along. But if you went into this half that went here and over there, you was an automatic target. Because they knew you was on this side. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I gotta go through there to get to the store. I'm not about to walk around all of this blocks. No, I'm going that way.
When you ain't involved, they don't bother you most of the time. And then you're a girl too. You're a girl. They was on it like that.
It was because I was
the family.
Yeah, related. You know what I mean? Not related, but yeah. I was like, okay, well, I need a car then, bitch.
Well, yeah, basically, that's what I was saying. Shit, I gotta make my life better.
Doing this pity pat.
I gotta do all this. I need my life better.
I ain't doing this pity pat. And at the flashback said, I remember Move, and he said capital M-O-V.
Yeah, Move.
And then he said, Frank said, it's a photo published in the Philadelphia Daily newspaper on the front page. That was Frank Rizzo.
Okay, so that's probably what I remember. I remember it was definitely big.
The devil can't have us. He got our kids. That is what flashback said, and that's a fact. When he can't get a hold of you, he does his damnedest to go after your kids.
And he had a great system. He knew to break the families up. So, hey, he knew how to do it. But you know what?
Butt naked front page, dehumanizing young black men in the 1970s. That's what Uncle Frank said.
But we're going to pull that. We're going to run this clip, and then we're going to go ahead and pull this is the last little clip I had when they jump into like Israel.
Listen, shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for being so active today. I love it.
Definitely. So, listen, we're going to get into the biggest ever rocket attack. Israel's port city, IDF, terrorized. They basically hit that dome, that damn Iron Dome they be talking about in Israel. Hezbollah decided that we're going to start sending these ballistic missiles that's going 6 times past the speed of sound.
Diablo.
To get your ass, and they got a few in. So let's check this out, man. This is earlier today. This is about 4 hours ago.
What's that?
Missiles.
Oh, okay.
Over 100 rockets fired at Haifa within 30 minutes.
Diablo. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Says they're crumbling.
From breaking news.
Now, you seen that, right? Now, this goes back to what we were speaking about family wars. Because that's all that is. And at this point, I want to see what the damage is and what the damage actually was in Israel. But Israel right now, I have to be honest with you, Israel is playing very smart. They're not putting a lot of negative information out on anything they're doing. Again, Iran is paying $100,000 a missile. They're paying $1 million, some change for a missile. So they have over 3,000 missiles to shoot at them, ballistic missiles to shoot at Israel. And if they just shot 180 missiles over there, and they got through their Iron Dome, which is their last defense system. They have like an air system, another system, and then it's the Iron Dome, which is the bottom last system, and you hit the target. So for Iran, it's a big boast because we're going, hold up. Everybody was saying, even America, Israel has the best defense in the world. World. But they got through it. Now, their claims are saying, listen, we ain't got no problem with a ceasefire, but Gaza got to be a part of the preconditions of it. What you doing? The Gaza got to stop. So again, how do we tell one brother not to protect his other brother when his little brother's getting beat on by another team that could stop? See, it comes down to what you were saying about that first case where you talking about the guy, the girl, and that situation. It comes down to how a person perceives a situation.
Yeah.
So this whole war, this whole system, and this whole situation within itself, it also shows that America has no power. Why? When it comes to Israel.
Why?
Well, let's see. Israel became a state, 1948, I believe it was, where they got recognized as a state. America recognized them not even 20 minutes after they declared themselves a state. So us in America has been unified and together as one. We also have to take in consideration about what the fractional reserve system, what the FDIC is, what the Federal Reserve System is, who runs it, who owns it, and how it operates, and how they became the power that they are. They're good businessmen. Period. And they know how to sit on the greed of others. We've got it for you. We got you. And so now America's been bought out. That's my opinion. I think America's been bought out by Israel. They can't do anything. Can't nobody stand up and say anything. Both president-elects are both saying, we support. I'm going, come on, man. Y'all can't stop it?
Uncle Frank said the good news teaches us that what is to be will be. So what news program are you subscribed to? Uncle Frank said it's who's behind the bullet, and there's no such thing today as a fail-proof defense systems. Don't believe the hype. Okay?
Exactly.
Flashback said, I've been to Gaza in the 1980s. People was still living in caves in the hills. And Frank put the emoji como está llorando and like he's crying. But it's anyways.
I mean, hey, listen. I went to go see if I can find that. Want to see if I can find that Frank Rizzo. I see Rizzo's right there. I see Rizzo right there.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I should put Frank Rizzo.
Let me
put Frank real fast. I'll give it to you. There you go.
That's his book.
Yeah, that's the book. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up while she's going to search real quick. But let me go ahead and bring up. This is Rizzo. Let me see if we can.
I can't search and do it because then it's gonna go.
Well, don't touch anything first.
I didn't touch nothing.
Because it's giving me a. Oh well, it's
You're
glitching
giving me
a
a
little bit.
dato.
Yeah, no, that's just the thing. It's glitching or whatever. I was looking to see if we could find him when he was searching the guys. Go ahead. I'll put searching, man. You see if you can figure out something else. Sometimes you got to pick the board up. You got to pick the board up. But yeah, so it's glitching right now. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's not letting you do it. Oh, there it goes. It's running slow. Yeah, it's something wrong with it. But yeah, we're gonna look to see if we can see Frank Rizzo.
Take them off the big screen so that way it doesn't mess with their brain right now.
All right.
While I'm doing that.
Okay, well, go ahead and put this back here.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so we're there. Go ahead, so there you go. But yeah, unfortunately for the war, and I don't know, man. I guess maybe it's because I'm getting older. I'm looking at things different. I care more. I'm having more attachments to others. I'm starting to understand. But man, when I look at our country and I'm like, damn, how can we have all this information and not be able to step in? Since we want to play God of the planet, why we don't step in and play God for real? At least as a country, since we have the power. But I'm just saying again, like what's going on with Israel and Gaza, and now what's happening with Iran. I mean, again, when we think about when Hamas came in and kidnapped and killed, what was it, 1,500 people or so? When that happened, it became top news. And Israel went on a relentless strike. We killing, smashing everything because you hurt ours. It wasn't even about, it was just, we going to apply pressure and pain to you guys. And it was understandable based off of, especially if it happened to my family, I feel the same way. But then again, when we're looking at the size of the people that we're fighting against and realizing like, hey, look, clearly we can't get to these people. If they're hiding missiles and stuff under hospitals and this, in my brain I'm going with them, if we seeing them shoot missiles from this, why we haven't got on the ground?
Okay.
And what I've been watching the news, they were saying, well, Israel's not trying to lose any of their soldiers. So what they do is they clear an area first, shoot all the missiles, boom, 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 desecrate the area so it's uninhabitable, and then they move in. So they're not having war to war with people. Most of these people, they're killing them, to be honest with you, and we don't even know what Hamas looks like. But what we do know is Gaza has more children than anything on the planet, and they've killed more children than what they claim they need to have back. And they say there's no end. We're not stopping until what we need to happen happens. So again, like I said, it's to me, I think it needs to stop. I think if everybody is stepping up right now, if the UN and everybody's saying, look, we're tired of this, Israel, stop. And everybody's looking at America and both our presidents can do right now is go, we're in full support. Neither one of them have given the people any type of resolution to the situation. So I don't know,
Hold on one second. Let me go into the chat real quick because I want to say something, and excuse me guys, because I was trying to pull up something real quick, so I wasn't in the chat. But I do see that a Flashback said one of the things that's been happening is as soon as you started talking about Israel, his phone started to buffer. LOL. Just saying.
Shout out to Mo 3 times, talking shit, getting clicks, tapped in. He over there on YouTube. Listen again.
Hey, what's going on?
Make sure you guys, listen. If you got, hit the like and subscribe button, man. If you like the content that we had, please. You know what? If you like what we've done, hit the like button. Hit the share button if you like what we've done and think it's presentable for you to put on your page and show support for us. Because again, we don't necessarily have to be doing something that you support, and so we don't look at it bad if you don't share it, because everybody has their own friends and don't want to be exposed to certain things or around certain things. They want to be again, but hit that like if you can at least get us the like to let you know you was there. Puts the algorithms up so that it shares it out to more people to let us grow. And as you can see, we have been growing.
And listen, Uncle Frank said, I failed to mention Frank Rizzo was mayor of Philadelphia for 2 terms. Also, Dave said, what we are seeing in the Middle East is a bunch of saber rattling. Nobody really wants smoke. Just saying.
Listen. So, you know what?
But before we go into more detail about that, I want to pull up what we were looking at before. I forget my datos. This is, I believe, Uncle Frank, what you were talking about is this here, the civil rights and the rise of Rizzo in 1960s, which is the picture you were talking about, that he was in the paper strip searching people and the bull crap that he was doing to people. And it's a lot of articles about Frank Rizzo and the mierda, which means bullshit, that he was in. Yeah. And yes, I definitely remember that statue. And that's why I remember Rizzo. That's it. I was like, who's this? And they said a mafia boss that worked for the cops. And I didn't believe that. I thought that was bullshit. So that's why when Uncle Frank said what he said, it was like a moment for me, because I remember exactly the statue that they're talking about, because it was such a big thing. And it says Philly Mayor Frank Rizzo statue won't be moved until first quarter, and they winded up deathing the statue. But anyway, it was a big thing, and I remember it now because of that statue. So yeah, that's how it jogged my memory. Remember, you guys, I'm not, just soy joven.
Well, since we've pretty much cleared all of that up, let me just put this back.
I was gonna fix it. Okay.
Well, since we're at 7:30, so we got an hour in.
Uncle Frank says, so how should your generation have handled your future? That's one of many during that time, meaning one of the many covers that was covered by Frank Rizzo and the bullshit that he was doing. And Uncle Frank said that was my hood. And Flashback said, let it be an eye for an eye, no move, no less. Israel took it too far now. The hostages is doomed.
Yeah, because at this point, if I was Hamas, I hate to be it, but I'd have just killed all their asses and put them on the front page, and then we ain't got to worry about you. Now you ain't got no reason to come in here no more. They all dead. I mean, because in reality, that's what you're pushing for. I'm surprised they're still alive. They call them out bargaining chips. What are you bargaining with? Listen, we don't even know. Hamas don't even have like soldier clothes. It ain't like they stand out from the civilians, right? And then we gotta keep it. You gotta keep it G. If they're destroying and blowing everything up, half of the people that are thinking they're fighting are dead anyway, and they can't tell the difference. It ain't like they're going into hospitals and they saying, "Oh, he has on a fatigue jacket." I'm just saying, like, this is the reality of it. So how do you kill Hamas? Everybody even said it themselves. They're like, yo, you could never destroy Hamas because where are they?
I can't with you. I understand that.
It's just the political side of all of it, man. Nobody's right and nobody's wrong when you're dealing with somebody else. We just all got opinions. Because everybody, again, as you see...
He said, are done. Uncle Frank.
Shout out to him, man. You know what I'm talking about.
Uncle Frank said they're done.
But listen... This is the podcast. This is $2 Tuesday. Podcast reaction news report with moi, you know. This is the podcast. That's right. I said P.O.E, not pod, but P.O.E, P.O.E, provide official entertainment, provide official education for the people on Earth. And as we know, everybody on this planet is not from this planet. We are a system. We are definitely on YouTube, so make sure you lock that in. The podcast, Cold Hard Facts. You know, on Thursdays, we got that Stormy Rec production coming in, and you got Ladies Night. We be rocking out with her. You know, it's a lot of things that we be doing here, man. We're creating a lot. You got that New Jersey podcast that we do during the daytime, Cumberland County and Friends. We got that boy Nut the Torture. We just did a great one today earlier, messing around with the youth again. I said, listen, show them love, because when they see the love that they see in doing their shows, it keeps them off the street. I'm really showing them it works, bro. So it takes a lot of success from the people who want to see success. Mm-hmm. And seriously, joking, as you know, it's gonna be the show that this might be our 40 Friday, to where we just not online, we just talking, we got the calls in, we having a great time, a great conversation. So again, man, tap in with us, please, because we ain't going nowhere. Straight up. At all. This is intellectual ignorance at its greatest, man. We are going to get to the bottom of this. We are dealing with a matrix mindset, which means we think outside of the box. This is that Christ Jesus out the box kingdom ministry type talk. We be trying to give you guys the positive. You know what I mean? The positive over the negative. You got to understand the negative to supersede it, though. You got to know what you're into and what's going on. So again, this is the podcast. This is us, man. So I gotta give a shout out to Storm, man, because she was rocking. Most times she be quiet. She got a little spruce in her. I don't know what she on tonight, but you done had some ginseng. You want some ginseng or something?
I'm gonna punch him today. I be
Adderall or some shit.
He said Adderall or some shit.
So listen. You got a pep in your step. You feeling good? You off tomorrow?
I'm off tomorrow.
There you go. I knew it was something, man. Y'all thought I was playing. I wasn't talking. I was not. So listen.
I need it.
Hey, listen. Hey, you guys, shout out to you. Thank you for coming to us, watching us. Make sure you share it, send it.
Frank said that's copyrighted already.
What?
40 Fridays.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like 40 Friday. What we'll do with 40 Friday is because we have 40 Friday, but we ain't. When the last time me, Uncle like Frank, we all been on the phone and chilling. Yeah, it's theirs. I'm talking about 40 for them. Yeah. Like for you,
like our meaning
really y'all's, and I'm the younger generation. Like I got my young boys with me now. I'm y'all younger generation, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Said, did you play the interlude? Let's go to the interlude.
No, I didn't, because I had to cut this song so it could fit. So the cold hard facts of love, and no doubt about it. Ooh. The cold hard facts of living, you know.
Get it.
Oh, man, make this way for living. That shit hard.
Listen, if you know, you know. And if you don't, you need to know.
Classic.
Shout out to Sunlight Production. Shout out to Frankie D in the building, Flashback, and all of them. They was doing their thing, and they still do their thing.
Yes.
Frank, I can't wait. You coming down again? I can't wait to see you.
We need to shoot down there, but all these hurricanes, I ain't going nowhere.
No, it's hurricane season already.
I got my license. I'm about to have it for real. I'm off probation and every license.
Shout out
I know
to
being
him,
grown, but
and
listen.
cheers to him for that, because if you know,
I would have never had a license, so. That's how everybody know I changed. When they see me, when I be driving, they be like, yo, Rick, what's good? I'm like, nothing. They see me and shit. I'm like, yeah, I got my license. They be like, damn, for real, you? I'm like, I got a passport too. They be like, passport? Passport? You. But hey, listen.
You got it.
Listen. Hey, yo, look. Thank you guys.
Appreciate the effort, nephew. We saved.
Yes, we do.
And listen, what else you got in store for us? I know that's not all the
I mean, look, listen. I gave an hour. Done talking about he want me to drive all the way out there to go pick him up. I don't know if I want
to. You don't got just this. I know.
I'm not oversaturating the show.
What else we got?
I was supposed to listen. All you need, listen.
So he said Sunlight got hit by a deer.
That's what we doing? Yo, I done said the poke has to leave like 5 times already. Yo, we out of here, man. I'm done with y'all, bro. Like, y'all crazy, man. Out of here, bro. Love y'all. Nah, we out of here. Peace.